My name is Josh Holden. I'm the head coach for Hockey Club Davos. This is my third year in Davos, living in the mountains. I grew up in Canada on the western side, so I'm very happy to be in the mountains. Yeah, a big area for me is leadership from the players and from the staff or from myself. So looking to the players, what we kind of look for is a guy who will lead himself as well as kind of lead by example. So how he prepares, how he recovers, how he eats, all those little things kind of benefit. Within that, I really like players that have a daily presence and knowing who they are, right? So they kind of show up and go through it. Leadership on the coaching side of it is, for me, basic like communication, right? So how do we talk to the guys? It's not in any way a dictatorship. It's more of give information, analyze the situations that evolve within the game of hockey or off ice or even daily problems in their lives, and then try to help them after that. But the communication needs to be simple, it needs to be clear, and making sure that we're doing that every day, because we can't sit back and wait and see what happens. Like, we got to be there every day, helping. So communication is a big part of leadership for me. Maybe the hidden secret in team sports is finding a team spirit. And it's not like in my pocket, I can pull it out. Maybe it's the same in the workplace. It's not easy. So how do you form that? I think you can form that just through activities, again, through communication of everyone talking, and addressing things as soon as possible so that they don't build up or you sweep them under the rug. They have to be talked about, have those hard conversations right away. But that's something that after 2 years in Davos, or even back to my days playing, there's always something that happens that kind of evolves, and you find that team spirit. And once the guys have that, then they become really close, and then they almost become unstoppable. So that's the ultimate goal, is to somehow find it without presenting it that you have to do it, because it's organic. It doesn't. It's not something we can put on a checklist and, oh, yep, today team spirit was there. You kind of have to work at it, evolve, so it kind of comes almost maybe like a base of the culture in your day-to-day work, and how you work, how you prepare, how you communicate. But yeah, that's I hope our goal, not hope, I don't hope, our goal is that we find a good team spirit quickly this year. One thing like how we work is have this circle, and it's prepare, execute, evaluate, recover. And this is like my personal daily process. So I'm always preparing like the night before. So I can't like show up and be like, okay, what am I going to do today? If you have an assignment, right, and you give it out to your team, and then they come back in the next day, like, okay, what are we going to do? Say, I gave you the assignment. Like, what are we going to do? Like they can't wait. So you expect, the expectations are for whatever's being put out there to kind of come back. So I know that I have to come in with that plan the next day. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. Lay it out there. Talk to the assistant coaches, the goalie coach. Then we give it to the players. Then they have to execute. Then I usually evaluate myself, like, how was the meeting? Was it good? Was it bad? Did I miss something? How was the players? How was practice? How was the game? Was it good? Did we miss something? And then after the evaluation, then recover. So I'm a big believer in like guys having something outside of hockey. Some guys like music, some guys like golf, some guys have dogs and families. So get away, get out. So like you'd said earlier, like everything has like a purpose, and it's quality. Right, so it's quick, it's smart, it's clean. Like, this is what we want to do. Let's do it. How was it? Good, bad, and then we move on the next time. So that's just that daily circle. I always try to connect everything. So it's yesterday into today, today into tomorrow, and then again, it just what happened yesterday? Was it good? Was it bad? Okay, into today, and then push that into tomorrow. Like, oh, we have a game tomorrow, so practice this. Will that work if we do that? We want to look like this tomorrow. So it's just like. Yeah, so when you're recruiting or looking for new players, obviously there's kind of like a profile you're looking for, right? So it'd be the same for us. Are we looking for a goalie? Are we looking for a defenseman? Are we looking for a forward? Are we looking for someone in the staff? There's many different profiles that have to go. Once you do that, and I think through an interview process, usually what we're looking for is passion. Someone who can sell themselves, is extremely interested in what potentially the position would be. Second would be someone that speaks in reference to the team first, not necessarily individually, but more like how it could be with the team or what the expectations would be for the team to ultimately win. And thirdly, I would say maybe it's probably character. I think you can get a read on people from talking to them, what their character's like. And then if you do a little background check, of course, to make sure maybe some of those things line up from previous employers or previous people they've worked with or played with. Once they line up, then usually we kind of narrow it down and find somebody. But those kind of three things would be the main areas we look for. Injuries, sickness, chaotic events happen in life, right? So usually we have some reserve players where we have some junior guys, or we have maybe a few extra players if the team is fully healthy. And then usually what we do is if someone gets injured before the game, we have the opportunity to make a quick adjustment and put someone else in the lineup. If it happens during the game, then it becomes a matter of usually changing some lines, changing some D pairings, power plays maybe get messed up, penalty kills kind of get messed up. Lines have to speak to each other again quickly, working with different guys. So it does cause like a small chaos thing, but usually before the game, try to always have a plan if something happens. So you can't go into the game expecting everything's going to be fine. You usually always have like a small few things that could happen that if it does happen, we can just do this and then we can react accordingly. So if a centerman goes down, maybe we use him as a winger as a center, and then we've got those guys. If a defenseman goes down, we've got those guys. So again, maybe a little bit proactive thinking in that regard, so that we don't just show up, go out, game happens, let's see. Like we try to be prepared when we can. Things that we try to help the players be proactively ahead of, let's say, injuries or sickness, just to be open and honest right away. So if they have something, it's better they say it earlier, right? So even if he says he's sick, but he might be able to play, that's all right, but at least we know. It's better than him saying something after the first period, like, oh, I'm sick, I'm out, and then we're like, where did that come from? Of course that happens, but we just try to ask the guys to be honest. And secondly, if we really take a few steps back, it goes into preparation for mobility. We have a specialist, actually from a guy that works in Zug. His name is Stan Mostard. He's an osteomed. He has a guy that works underneath of him, is Niels, and between the two of them, they come up and they analyze the guys a few times a year, and then once a week, one of them is here to just check the guys' bodies. So functionally, are they okay? Mechanically, is their body aligned? So it really is a few steps back to give the guys a chance so that, okay, hey, your hip is out, that's because of this and this, so work on these exercises. Then the guys have to do it to proactively stay ahead of maybe that injury that might come over there. So again, I'm a big believer in preparation and kind of having a rough plan, that you just don't go in blind and throw your your money in the air, see what happens, try to be smart with it. But those guys are a big key to early on making sure that the players are taking advantage of being mechanically and functionally fit. So when we're planning our lineup, we have some magnets with names, and usually we kind of have like the 4 blocks, let's say. So there's usually 3 forwards per line. Then we have D pairings and then the goalies. You typically have your core group of guys that are going to play the majority part of the games, and then you have maybe a few other younger guys that fill in depending on injuries or sicknesses and whatnot. So when our roster is full and our lineup is there and we can use all of our magnets, we're happy. When we have to move some of our key people out of there and then plug it in, then it kind of becomes a bit of a puzzle to try to, again, put everybody in a position or situation that they can succeed. So it's not something that we force them to do. Usually if we're going to move a guy from the wing to center, we'll go and talk with him and ask, hey, what do you think about doing this? Hey, what do you think? Hey, can you do that? This is how it might look. And we've had some guys that have gone from wing to play center, which isn't easy. It's easier for a center to play wing. We've had some defensemen come up and play forward. So that's also not easy. So yeah, different times of the year, different injuries, crazy stuff happens. But going back to having that rough plan of how we want to look as often as possible and kind of creating that puzzle, we do that pretty much every day. Yeah, if we do have to manipulate the lineup or whatever, it's usually trying to take skill set of that individual player, where will he fit best, which guy could maybe take that assignment. So I try not to use the word roles, because that could sometimes put somebody in a box. But if you give them assignments, then they complete something, right? So it's like, hey, can you do this, or whatever? And then he does it for a game. It's like, oh, okay, hey, all right, now we can maybe put you back there or whatever. So those little assignments are, when we're thinking through it, it does go back to, I think the best word to use was like their skill set. So we want to put the players in a position to use their skill set to have success and benefit the team. Yeah, there are a lot of data analytics in hockey. We have a company that we use. They watch our games and manually track it. We basically get a pre-scout from our opponent, how they look, with about 17, 18 pages of data, pictures, numbers, and everything. So going through that is a lot. Then we get a post-game report on how we performed versus our plan. So that data, or the data analytics, we'd have to have a whole another program to interview, because you can go really crazy deep. But I would say we use it for roughly 20-25% of our plan, in reference to numbers from the opponent, what makes them successful, what areas are they really good at, and maybe where are they vulnerable. So, and then we try to come up with a game plan to, like, okay, they're good at this, 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 they're weak this, 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 so we're gonna do this to block them, and we're gonna do this to create offense. So we try to create like a hockey circle and connect it all, and then through those numbers, usually we show video clips. So that's where it becomes a lot of work of connecting everything. So you get the numbers, but then you spend hours doing the video to find the right clips of the opponent and of us. Then you make the presentation and you give it to the guys. And I'd say we do between 8 to 12 clips, so it's not a lot. So that's why they gotta be like right, because we can't have the guys sitting in there for 45-minute meetings. It doesn't work. So our meetings are 8 to 15 minutes, depending, and then it's just like, this is it, let's go. And then, they better get it. Yes, so for our communication or our planning or anything, we have a video software program called Dartfish, and this is video based, so it's we can tag the games with specific tags. So we have our goalie coach also does the video tagging. Then after the game, all the assistant coaches can go into those tags and kind of select their areas that are already there, and then they can kind of create a playlist. And then we watch each other's playlists the next morning to see what was good and what was bad from us. We also use I use PowerPoints, because all our tactics and drills are drawn digitally. So then we can share those, or I can make a quick picture and put it into the video so the guys can see all that. So I don't draw a lot, maybe a lot less, but I show visual pictures that we have, and then the guys over the season will memorize those pictures. Then when we're drawing, don't have to draw as much. So yeah, PowerPoint and Excel. We use Excel a lot for scheduling and kind of keeping everything, or statistics and numbers stored. Then we have just a server that kind of everyone has access to. It's pretty basic for now, just to kind of keep it simple. However, there are some very interesting products out there for clubs and for sports teams that we're exploring, let's say. So with the hope in the future that we could kind of get everything into one, because now we're kind of all over. if we can get everything into one, which is possible, but it's just a timing thing and also a financial thing, then that would be the ultimate. Then we have everybody working on each player profile accordingly with clips, with statistics, with analytics, with off ice, everything kind of all in one area. So that's the ultimate goal, but we're not there yet. So yeah, if I could have one big wish, it ultimately would be to have kind of everything in one area. Because right now we're spreading it all around. The players do have access to a platform that is supplied to the league where they can watch their games in shifts. That's kind of separate. But for us to have like scheduling, interviews, sponsored dinners, golf tournaments, whatever, all kind of in one schedule that they individually have like through an app, that would be the ultimate goal. So for communication, again, I think the communication shows a sign of leadership because you're not afraid to go out and communicate the plan ultimately, because the plan comes down to me. I have to give it to the players and they have to execute. So can't execute under stress, so we try to like help them along the way. But within that communication, I think it needs to be honest. There's no sense kind of playing games and trying to make a guy feel too good. It's better to be as honest as you can and as black and white as possible, rather than stay gray, because that doesn't really give the player or the person maybe what they need at the time. And so sometimes it's hard having those uncomfortable conversations, but usually those are necessary, and later on it's more beneficial. So it might hurt at the beginning for me to say it to the guy, but try to be honest. If he's playing well or not, he might disagree, but down the road, maybe we can go back to that, or he finds a way, or something happens that he remembers, like, okay, at least he was honest when he said that, and I'd rather the guys feel that I was authentic and trying to help than say, hey, you're doing great, and go around the corner and tell his buddy, like, oh, that guy, he's so bad. That it's just that we will not work like that. Obviously, the final product of ice hockey is maybe either a practice or a game, right? That's what kind of everybody comes to watch and see. But what goes on behind, we have, material chefs that are dressing room managers, guys that are doing laundry countless times, sharpening skates, keeping the dressing room clean, making protein shakes, ordering different things for the guys. Like that's a whole little entity or business on its own. We have a whole physio side, a whole physio with the doctor from the hospital, making sure everybody's healthy and fit and keeping up on, appointments or checkups, with heart, with any sort of sickness. Then we have an off-ice department, which cover the fitness from the guys, so strength, power, endurance. Then we have also, they're connected to a sports science department that's connected with the hospital in Davos. Then of course we have the management above us as coaches, with the GM, the CEO, and CFO, and kind of all the people in the bureau. And then probably maybe the biggest core is like sponsors, right? Like there's a big part to play in how the sponsors support and help the club, all clubs, right? Like it's very important. And then the fans, without the fans coming and supporting and us putting something in practice or putting something on the ice in a game that makes it exciting, they're not going to come. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is creating a game or a style of hockey that the fans are excited to see. And I think the product in Switzerland right now in general is good for ice hockey. It's at a high level. So the fans are being entertained. I wish we could win every game for the fans, but we try. But so there's a lot of moving parts that go on to like behind the scenes really than just a game.